All right, so I wanted to share a few things about my race from last weekend. I competed in the Iron Horse Ultra in the 100-mile distance. There was 32 of us. Um, I had the best day. I had the intention to go out and not stop at any of the aid stations except for um, aid station 3 at 66 kilometers. So the first two aid stations, I just swapped my water bottles and just grabbed some things from the aid stations. I was getting real food. I grabbed bananas, beef sandwiches, and then I had my South African beef jerky and my gels, some gummies, and yeah, I had my NAC electrolyte powder. Um, Things were going really, really great. It was super windy. It was like 30-kilometer winds starting at 7 in the morning. So I wore my spy glasses with the clear lenses in them just to keep my hair from whipping me in the eyes and to give me a bit of isolation from the wind. I decided to run with one earbud in to help minimize the wind tunneling into my ears. I had my hood up for a considerable amount of time. Um, I had hand warmers inside my gloves because I knew that I started out, um, it was pretty cold with the wind. So just having those hand warmers inside my gloves kept my gloves warm and my hands warm. Um, there was a lot of gates and fences to climb over. So this race takes place on ancient um, uh, farmland and in a provincial grazing reserve. Um, the first leg was wonderful. I was running what my goal was. So my goal starting out was a 7.5 minute pace per kilometer, and not including my time at my aid stations, but um, which I was maintaining. I kept looking down at my watch, and I was running um, between a 6.5 minute and a 7.5 minute pace for the first leg, even for the second leg. Um, Even with the hills, there was some punchy climbs. It's generally a flat course, but there's some pretty punchy climbs. So, um, yeah, it was leg 3 that started to kind of slow me down, even though I was eating really well. Um, I slowed down on the hills um, on leg 3. So, right around 52 kilometers, I started to slow down a bit. And I mean, I wasn't planning on running the hills at all, anyways, throughout this race, but I wanted to, make up time on the flats and runnable terrain. Um, I was supposed to come in at the third aid station after leg 3, um, around 3:30 p.m. and I was a little slower than I planned. I actually came in um, at 9.5 hours. So the cutoff time for that aid station was 10 hours. So I didn't have as much time as I planned. And it was, yeah, it was just I was hoping to be able to change my socks and get into warmer clothes for the night. And what happened was my pacer got cut up on time. So she was like, I need to get you out of here. And um, so instead of changing my socks or my shoes, I just grabbed some more stuff and got on my way with my pacer. So that's when my pace started to go downhill. Um, I was feeling relatively good about my pace. Um, getting done 66 kilometers in under 10 hours to me was great. So, even though I was walk jogging at that point, I was still happy with it. But my pacer, her job was to keep me on pace. And so she reminded me that I needed to be moving faster if I wanted to make the next cutoff. So, that got to me, and broke me down quite a lot. And it wasn't my pacer's intention to do that. Um, but I just got it in my head that I wasn't going to make a cutoff time, and that was the thought that started to grow and snowball. Um, so I was kind of fighting against needing to walk at that time. The sun went down and we were using our headlamps, and it was starting to get really dark, and we were having a hard time finding the flags for that leg. So um, it was proving to be challenging. The flagging was just stakes in the ground, or those little flags on the wire, um, on small wire. So there wasn't really that much reflective material in them, and the grass was longer than the flagging, so it was definitely challenging. Um, my intention was not to be still out on that section when it was dark, so that was another thing that my pacer and I were having a challenge with. And it was also cold for us, and we weren't moving as fast as we thought we would be. So we were just having a hard time, and I ended up calling it at 86 kilometers because it was a rough 20K with my pacer. Um, I wasn't being receptive to her feedback, and she was trying to get me moving, and I couldn't overcome that obstacle, and at the end of the day, it was my job to get done the 100 miles. And you can have all the help in the world, but if you're not able to do it, it's on the racer. It's never on the crew or the pacer. um, I feel so grateful that I have a team that supports me and a training partner that comes out to pace me. She sacrificed her whole weekend um, for my goal, and oh, I am forever grateful for that. And I'll take her um, on every adventure because she challenges me and she wants the best for me, and her intention is for me to reach my goals. So, um, I, it's on me to own that I wasn't receptive to her help, and that I need to figure out a way around that next time, and to have a few different plans in play if and when that happens. And um, instead of shut down and give up, to move into a different strategy, or um, trust my pacer more, and see what her ability to push me is, instead of fighting and shutting down. um, I know that, um, yeah, it was a really good day regardless. And I think that, um, that the next opportunity, I'll have my strategy down and I'll have a little bit more awareness and some more tools. And you never know what's going to happen, but I feel like I'm getting a little bit more. And um, yeah, it was one heck of a day. So I had some pretty amazing conversations with people out there. The athletes were just amazing. Um, just the vibes and the spirit. It was just so cool. Um, I love catching up with people on an individual basis when you're out there, and the things that people will share with you. I think that's so cool. I never forget those conversations that I have with complete random people and strangers, but they're not strangers after you do a race with them. So, um, yeah, I had a really great day. I loved the volunteers. I loved um, the aid stations. I loved all the kids that were cheering for their families, and that stuff kind of made me feel pretty good inside. So I'm probably going to sign up next year, and who knows what'll happen, but I'm pretty still stoked about my accomplishment. And um, I think 54 miles on a 100-mile course is pretty good. I did it in 13 hours and 30 minutes, so I definitely would have had a challenge getting the whole 100 miles done in under 27 hours. But, looking back now at how I was um, 86 kilometers in, and I was 13 hours and 30 minutes in. That's pretty amazing. So um, I'm looking forward to what I can do, and where this will take me. And yeah, I just wanted to update you guys on that.